Wow, greetings. Hi there. Precious, you, divine being. There's nothing wrong with you, never has been anything wrong with you, never will be anything wrong with you. My topic, planting seeds of success. Now, a reason I'm using the word success, not the opposite of failure, but basically success means you just did what you intended to do. Like, I'm successful because I'm standing right here intending to make these videos for you, and Michael's successful. He's got all set up, camera ready, we got the location. It's brisk, fabulous day. We're already successful. We did what we said we were going to do. We came here. And I want you to look at the thing called seeds. And that's why gardening is such a great vehicle for knowing how this reality operates, from seeds. And if you take a seed, like an apple seed, and that seed, within that seed, is everything that is needed when it's planted and watered in good soil. You know, you got to do that, taken care of, such. It will grow a huge apple tree with thousands and thousands and thousands over how many ever years it stays and grows and produces of apples. And yet in each and every apple, there could be 8, 10, 12, 5, 4 seeds. And each one of those seeds has every single thing in it that is needed, that tells everything to do along the way, that has that seed sprout, take root, begin to grow, and grow a massive tree with apples that would feed hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, each apple tree, maybe thousands. Now, how does that work with you? What are seeds? Seeds are thoughts. Thoughts are words. And the thing about a word is that word isn't just a few letters on a page, like even the word word, W-O-R-D. You add an L, W-O-R-L-D, now you've got worlds. Take the word slaughter. Take the S off and you have laughter. So who's getting laughter out of slaughtering? Okay, there's an S before it, give you a little indication. And when you perceive that each word, now those words have been taught to us what they mean. Preschool, television. I knew these people that put the little kid in a cage and with the big TV screen, and that's where the kid lived, with that screen all the time, with playing. That kid's completely programmed, will never change unless that person has a divine awakening. And then you have to let go of your attachment to each of these words because they're seeds. And each word isn't just these letters, and each letter has a number. They also have meanings. And these meanings we are taught over and over and over again through educational systems, through media, through books, through family, through culture, through relationships, all of this. And statements then can be put together with these words. It's called spelling. It's spell casting. And that spelling or that spell casting of these words, these seeds that are planted in the soil of a receptive person's consciousness, it has everything in that word to manifest everything about that seed or that word. It's a seed. Just like the word failure or loser. If someone says, oh, you're a loser, you're a loser, you're a loser. Priest says, you know, I'm just an effing loser. I'm just no good. Nobody, I'm just a loser all the time. Well, it's just a bunch of squiggles on a piece of paper that we have been given how to pronounce it. How to pronounce, because you have to pronounce, if you start pronouncing a different way, you're going to get a nice, wide, fresh awakening, my darling, as to what's really going on. And it isn't about humanity ever awakening. Humanity cannot awaken. because it's a definition. It's a seed that has, that's why I don't identify with different groups. That's why I don't identify with that, and identify, because then it becomes my ID, my identity of the AI, which is the mind, and then that identity that then is in the mind is run by IT, information technology. So the mind is the artificial intelligence because it's made of words. We don't need artificial intelligence because we have divine intelligence. And yes, there are sounds. That's why I told you why I like the Vedas so much, because Sanskrit is the language of the spiritual world. And you have like in English, which is made up of many different languages in order to have it be a perfect spellcasting language. So that when people are speaking or thinking, they're casting spells upon themselves, cursing themselves constantly, thinking of it, analyzing it, figuring out, they don't like me, they like me, I'm good enough, I'm not good enough, I hate them, I'll kill them, I'll get them. See, when you hate someone, you take on all those kind of qualities because you have to feel bad. You have to just really hurt yourself. You have to sink your own ship, so to speak. When you stop reacting to words, you stop reacting to these seeds. Those seeds planted can't grow because you don't have the fertile soil of your own consciousness that's absorbing all of this and taking it on. A lot of my work, that's what, really invite you to come to workshops and retreats here at Shasta, or work with me, over the phone for our counseling and email and sessions. You want to pinpoint and realize and discover all of these seeds that have been planted in the fertile soil of your own consciousness, so that you can then weed out what you do not want. And then also changing certain definitions. Only the challenges, so many have been so programmed in subliminally at levels that people have no idea because they're not conscious of it. It's the very same. I was talking with someone the other day, and started to feel bad because his son wasn't, what would you say, something had gone on and the son was depressed and all this kind of stuff. And yet when you go to help someone like that, they believe their words, and they believe their programming, and they believe all those seeds. And just like an apple seed, every word being a seed, every statement being seeds, when they're planted in the consciousness of the individual, the person, and they are never challenged or never known for what they do, they're running people's lives. So you've got thinking people and knowing people. Thinking people are always in distress. Thinking people are controlled by fear, because that's how the mind operates. And how people get trapped is guilt, because just in the words you could say, you're a disappointment to your father. He had a heart attack because he couldn't take it. Oh, really? You're not responsible for that. You didn't do that. Words did it. And when you realize what the culprit is, and yes, we're using words, when you're just listening, just start to notice what those words are doing and what they're doing to you. And they're not you. They're not truth. Your truth, not words. Your truth. They are artificial intelligence. And that artificial intelligence then is stealing people's divine intelligence. And you can see how stupid so many people are, and the way they act and the way they behave, and how easily they're controlled to do this and that and this. That's all PR. That's how it was done years and years ago to find out. How can you, and why is it some people want to control everybody? Because they're thinking people rather than knowing, and knowing people operate by divine magic. When you operate by divine magic, This is the real awakening, and humanity cannot awaken until it drops the definition of humanity. Well, humans did this and humans did that. Yeah, but who's controlling humans to do that and that? Where are those seeds, those words, those suggestions coming from? Who's telling you this? Who's riling you up? Who can get your goat? Who can, and if you really love yourself, and what does that mean? To me, that means honor who you are. Love is who you are. You can't love yourself. You can either be who you are or kill that by believing the words and taking on the consciousness that the words say, and yet people are walking around with big signs all over their face as to all the lies they've accepted, and they're living and promoting and defending and protecting. We'll fight wars over those. Many, many years ago, I did a retreat with Buckminster Fuller, and many of you would know him, a man who wanted to find out what one person could do without a formal education. And he discovered the buckyballs and the some of the what would you call it, different people bows. He did all these things because so I did this seminar where he was, and we were at Lake Tahoe, and he was teaching some of his philosophy. And what I noticed about that is that we have to have the courage to step out from the norm, to not just go along to get along, to not just be thinking people who get, and the people that are most challenging to deal with are those who are religious or intellectuals, because all of that's done with words, with sounds, with definitions. And then people are limiting those. It's like I was talking about the man who had his son was having trouble, but yet that person has believed all of these things, because trouble only comes when you don't know who you are. The mind doesn't solve problems, it makes new ones, because the mind has to exist that way, and it brings up doubt of yourself. And what you want to know is who you are beyond a shadow of a doubt, and that means stop reacting to everything. Stop reacting to what he said, she said, the TV said, this said, the social media said, what are they doing? Is that what you want? And in a moment, it isn't about anybody else. You are a free spirit. You are a sovereign being. And when you give your power, you place those thoughts and those beliefs in your heart instead of you. You have made words God. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God, and the Word was God. That means showing how this manifestation operates when Word is God, when the Word is God, and it isn't. What does that mean? Source. That means creator. That means, no, that's you. That's what your powers are. And so if we notice how much information is out there, and how it's so complete, and everybody's got the cell phone, and everybody's got the stuff, everybody's got the opinions, everyone's trying to get everybody warring against each other and this or that so that you could win. This makes you a robot. People are thinking robots. Nothing original, nothing absolute truth, especially themselves. And then they live as cowards in fear because they don't want to die. I got news for you. Dying is the biggest lie of all. More on that at another time. But anyway, breathe into your heart and notice what seeds are growing in your consciousness. Do you want what they're going to produce, and all the stuff that's involved, and all the stuff that you're carrying around? Go weed your garden, and as you do, throw out those thoughts. Throw out those beliefs that have been working against you, of age, of health, of education, of science, of the so-called world, and the leaders, and all of these people. The most insecure people rise to the top. The cream rises to the top, and so does the sewage. And when you take those seeds into yourself, into your consciousness, everything is in each one of those words, and there's so much more involved in it. If you're reacting to words, to what people are saying, what this and this, then take a look. Don't react when people tell you to react. Don't do it. Don't respond if people tell you to respond. Don't do it. Don't act. People say, you don't feel bad, you don't care. Oh, you want me to feel bad to show that I care? How does that help? Does that make you feel better? Well, yeah, it makes me feel better because you're as miserable as I am. Well, misery loves company. I don't need to have company with misery. That's not who I am. I don't have to accept or believe any seeds of any kind, of any words or anything, because I'm superior to words. Words are just words. You are a divine, eternal being. And that's what you want to know. And that's what your experience in this reality can be about, because it's going to be eternal until you stop playing. And in that moment that you take your power back to here, my darling, beloved, precious spirit soul that you are, you have yourself. And now peel off all those layers of everything that you've produced to make yourself viable, to make yourself a product, to make yourself able to get along and to be so-called, what did I do with did I lose all my papers? I had them all in my hand. I just can't help it. You know how the body keeps getting it. It's fine, I'll find them later. But anyway, when you do, congratulations. Now, wow. This is what success is you being you. And there are no failures. What did I do with all my paper?